Unity just threatened a small indie studio with revoking its paid-for license without any concrete reason why to do so, even producing bogus and laughable evidence as the reason why they decided to press the small New Zealand studio, Rocketworks, the studio behind Stationeers and Icarus, into paying up or shutting down. Welcome to Cygnus News, the show that only happens because I forgot to do something, and once again Unity shows its true colors as once more the evil company strikes in the gaming sphere. And while it's a little bit different than what I normally cover, I think it's important to cause as much ruckus as possible when it comes to the issue and Unity having to think twice before pushing indie devs around like this. Today, my friends, let's dive into what Unity did this time in their shitty practices library. On the 9th of May, Rocketworks CEO got the following email accusing them of mixing personal license with professional ones, which you are not allowed to do and thus are violating terms of service, and gave the team about 7 days to comply. As Unity so helpfully reminded them in the email, quote, "As a reminder, there can be no mixing of Unity license types, and according to our data, you currently have users using personal licenses when they should be under the umbrella of the Unity Pro subscription." Now, being somewhat puzzled about this, the team asked Unity where this data came from, and in a reply chain of about 5 emails, they compiled the following list of 5 personnel who they believed were in violation of terms of service. The first employee at the company was not even using Unity on company time, but just had a personal license to do some stuff in his own time. Another employee at the company actually had a paid license. A contractor in 2024 who was provided with and paid for a license of Unity while working at them and no longer works with them. And of course, the 2 last employees from an entirely different company in New Zealand who happen to be sharing accountants and thus have had the same online address in the government database. Of the 3 employees linked to Rocketworks, none of them were in breach, as the first one just had a personal license to do on their own stuff and wasn't even doing any Unity work at the company. The second was actually paid for, and the third isn't even at the company anymore. Keep in mind that this company is already spending enormous amounts of money on Unity, with Rocketworks founder and the creator behind DayZ commenting, quote, "Development with Unity has made up a significant portion of our products since the company was founded, with a spend of probably over 300,000 through this period alone, currently averaging about 30k per year." Now, it is true that they can terminate your account for being in breach of their TOS. Unity doesn't really have a leg to stand on here because nobody at Rocketworks was in breach at all. This begs the question of how do they even get this information, and what kind of data are they scraping, and in what terms are they even accurate? This should raise alarm bells for everybody who uses Unity, because even a contractor or someone who has the same address as you can cause you to lose your license. Furthermore, the fact that they can even scrape your name off by using just a piece of software is insanely scary to me. And yes, before you comment, I know that you have to log in to use the software, but how were they able to link someone's private license to the company they work at? But maybe the most important question of all, why should you care? You watching this video, why should you care? Who cares about a small indie company like getting strong-armed? It's Unity's right to enforce their terms of service, right? Well, yes, but you should care for a plainly simple reason. Unity is going to cause its own destruction, and while a lot of people would applaud this and would like to accelerate this happening, I think a lot of people tend to forget, and Rocketworks CEO also shared, is that a lot of indie games are relying on Unity. For every 10 Unity slop games, there's a small project that turns into the best game ever. Aneurysm 4, a game I'm currently playing while writing this script and probably while editing in between because I can't stop playing this, runs on Unity. And if Unity goes down, this game stops development, which is very bad because they just updated a lot of good stuff like the Malpractitioner. Seriously, you should buy this game. But anyways, you should also care, because the only game that Rocketworks uses Unity on is Stationeers, a game what they lose money on every month, but still develop it out of a passion, as well as another game in development that would just end up in the trash, wasting a ton of people's time, effort, and passion for no reason, just because Unity had wrongful data. That doesn't mean they get to terminate everything. And even though I'm not a big channel with millions of views, it's important to me that I make some sort of a stand as an individual. Unity should stop being this money hungry and stop bullying smaller companies into paying for stuff that they don't need. But with that being said, I was Lunar, you are very awesome, and I will see you next time.